They start digging it up. Okay.
Don't see Jim.
I didn't know you could be sweet, Joe. She doesn't.
She's still
Right. Yeah, I'll be doing that. Gotta be careful. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I did, I turned mine off too.
Are you there?
I turned it down, but I couldn't turn it off. Yeah.
Chicken. This around here, let's stand on the front porch and watch the tornado go out in front of me. I'm in the house, screaming, get in this house.
And then does Iris automatically send out weather stuff?
No, we have to
How do
send
we
it.
get that done?
One of us does it.
You type all the information?
Can you hear me?
You can do that, or you can call the 800 number, which is proven to be unwrong.
Good glasses on. I mean, it's like,
Night and day, yeah. I started with reading classes, and I ended up being a coach, because I was always doing this.
Are you muted? I can't hear you. I
I'm
can't,
muted. Now, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, I was muted. I didn't know it.
Okay. All right. Are we ready?
Yes, it is.
Third computer I tried to log on with tonight.
All right, 7 o'clock, we're gonna go ahead and get this meeting called to order. If everyone will stand for the invocation, pledge allegiance, please.
Our dear Father, sorry, our dear Father in heaven, we're so grateful to be here as a council for our city. As this weather comes about, please protect the citizens. Protect them from the weather that they may not have any hardships with. The rain may replenish our lake, but yet keep our citizens safe. Father, help us as we go through the business tonight, that we may be able to lead and guide in a way that would help our citizens. Help us that we may be able to come up with the best options for working here with our citizens. Help us that we may always have our minds on doing what is best for everyone, not just for a few. Father, we love thee. We're thankful for the blessings thou hast bestowed upon us. We're thankful for the Spirit that guides us. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Okay, any announcements?
I have one. Don't forget, this Saturday at 2 o'clock is the City of West Walkeny Easter egg hunt. The ladies and some gentlemen came today and stuffed all these Easter eggs, and we had thousands of them. So we had 28 people that showed up to help.
Good.
And I mean, we got them done in about 2 hours. That tells you how many we had. So there's gonna be a lot of fun stuff there. The Easter Bunny will be there, so bring your kids and come on out.
And thanks, I don't have a list of everybody.
Yes, thank you.
I know that all were here, were there rather.
I was there.
Yeah. See, I didn't know, I knew Robin was, y'all were, that's all I knew.
And all the military
your wife.
organizations showed up.
Yeah, huh?
In your life.
Yeah.
All the military organizations showed up, even the crochet group that meets up at the library, they even had people there. So we had a lot of good representation.
That's something that just, it's continuing to get better and better every year.
Walking Civic Club, there was a lot of ladies from there also.
Oh, good. Any other announcements?
Yes, I want to thank our citizens for the reverence and I want to show my appreciations for the young Marines at our farmer's market the other day. It just brought tears in my eyes when they presented the colors. Everyone that was there of our citizens stopped and showed reverence to the flag. And those young people, they were just beautiful in the way that they did the colors for us. And it was just a heartfelt, wonderful thing to watch. And I want to thank them for participating.
You're welcome. Our pleasure.
Okay, Mr. Woodley or Ms. Johnson? Ms. Johnson is from our public library here in town.
Who's the president?
Oh, the president.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm Virginia Johnson, and thank you for letting me speak, Mr. Mayor and City Council and City Administrator and whoever else I is here. I just wanted to come and we have Paul Woodley. He's one of our board members who helps us do everything. I want to tell you how much we appreciate your support and your help. Our library is doing very, very well. I also want to express my appreciation to Sanitation Solutions for giving us a donation. And of course, you all increased your donation this year. So all of that is keeping us alive and well. And we're so very grateful to you. And you also do many other things like provide our Wi-Fi, and you provide our trash pickup and our electricity. So you make it happen with us. I want to let you know a little bit about what we're doing. We're having a very good year and we are just growing. The crochet group is just fantastic. We had so many crochet ladies and even one gentleman, I think at one time, that we had to split it in two. And now we have a Wednesday group and we also have a Saturday group. And they have been doing fundraisers for us and have just gone gung-ho to help us out because they're so thrilled to have a place to meet. And they're all becoming such a group. And our library, is more than a library with books. Our library is community. And this shows exactly what we mean by that. So we're going to start with our summer reading program very soon. We're going to kick off with Mad Science from Dallas. They have all these science experiments that wow the children and get them excited because we have a super science Saturday, every Saturday in June, which I teach, and get the kids excited about learning. Then we will start our summer reading program that Saturday, which is June the 4th. The children can sign up and register for the program. So we're busy and we're just doing everything we can to help the kids in this area and the young adults and the not so young adults in our group. So if you haven't been to our library, please stop by Wednesday through Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 11 o'clock to 5. And then on Saturday, then it's 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So thank you for letting me speak. And I must admit that I met Kevin Featherston the other evening. He brought our truck home from the highway where it just simply died. It's a very small world.
Thank you so much, Michelle. All right, no other announcements. We'll move on to citizens input. Anybody have any input related to the agenda items?
By the way, we do appreciate the time. And we're going to.
Okay, Okay, no citizens input. Moving on to the consent agenda items. 6A is the approval of minutes from March of 2022. B, approved bills to be paid and those to be paid. Approval for financial reports for the month of March, court report for March, police department for March, public works order, work order report, completed and outstanding for March, public works report for March, the permit report for March, code enforcement for March, EDC minutes for November 1st of 21, November 15th of 21, December meeting canceled, January 10th of 22, February meeting canceled, and March 7th of 2022. Also, the Keep Talking beautiful minutes from February 17th of 2022. We have no minutes for the planning and zoning. And then update City of West Walker Prevention Code Guard Ordinance. Chris, do you have anything? Yeah.
No, we need to back up and see where we need to go with that.
BB,
I didn't do anything.
I thought about that.
We'll take that off.
Okay, well, I thought about that when I read this. And also, finally, N is to appoint Mary Hall to keep Milwaukee beautiful. And the chair will entertain any motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through N.
I'll second that motion.
Can we have any kind of, like, just a highlight on those before we move forward on that? Can we-
Sure.
I just
You
want,
got some input too.
I just want to highlight two of our reports, to make sure that everybody was able to see how much they stuck out. And those two reports are your code and
Oh, yeah.
your officer activity report. I just want to make sure we're all looking at those, and to me, it's showing some really good things. I mean, these two reports to me are just fantastic. And I wish our code, I wish Shannon was maybe here so she could hear that, but I'm sure you'll pass it on to her. But I mean, this just speaks volumes.
I think one of the things that's not in the report you're speaking of, is we had 4 drug arrests, if I'm not mistaken, in the last month, that way. That's big, and they're working on it, as well as code enforcement. I mean,
I'm excited. I'm excited to see these things when we're getting them, because now our packets are coming with so much more reports than what we've been having. And it's great to start seeing some of this come to fruition. So that's all I had, and I think you already had your motion in your second.
I also noticed, on our permit report, we had more permits this month.
a lot of building going on.
That's good too, because that means that we're growing.
Yep.
But yeah. Real
Yeah,
pleased
growth
with
is
those.
here. Okay, we had Robin made a first, Chris seconded, all in favor?
Kevin Featherston.
Leon, I'm.
Anne Marie,
Robin Myers.
Chris Burkett.
It is unanimous. Okay, new business. 7A, we introduce and recognize West Walker Fire Department's new members. Have you got any? Oh, okay. I forgot you were,
I'm gonna take that.
well, I forgot you were back at the. Perfect.
Mayor, honorable council, thank you for letting me be here. I don't know about introducing anybody to you, because somebody's got to be in the station.
Yeah,
yes.
well, it was just an idea.
I did want to cover some points of things that are going on down at the fire station, because you probably do not know that we've made a lot of progress this year. Just some of the things that are going on. First of all, we want to let you and the citizens of West Milwaukee know that you're in good hands, because Milwaukee Volunteer Fire is back stronger than ever, and we're looking forward and not behind. We recently brought on a new EMT. Not only is this person an EMT, is state certified EMT instructor. So we'll be doing EMT classes at the fire station.
Good.
We brought on a new certified firefighter, state certified firefighter, who is also a state certified instructor. So we're moving forward in that area. Besides that, 3 additional firefighters over the last 2 months. We spent $20,000 on gear and supplies to fight fires. Currently, we're working to upgrade our station house. We're building bedrooms, kitchens upstairs, so people can stay 24/7 if we ever get to that point. It's been a major undertaking. All the kudos in the world go to this young man sitting right here, Chief Burkett. He's
Thank you, Chris.
he's quite the leader, I'll tell you. I did want to mention a couple other things. This past week, Hunt County in the hospital district gave us 100% support of our plan to support everybody else. Monday, yesterday, we got our medical license approved by the state of Texas. So we are 100% good, ready to go, and here to serve. And y'all know mutual aid.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're in that mutual aid agreement with every other fire department. So we all help each other. So that's all I got on that. But I do want to run some numbers by you.
Real quick, Dwayne, you talked about I think at the state level, you mentioned something about we're certified through the state, for EMTs, paramedics, whatever.
Yes, sir.
Does that now allow us to do medical calls as well? When I say us, I mean, the fire
Well,
department.
Take it.
So we have had our state medical license for 2 years now. We just renewed it for an additional 2 years. We are a BLS station, basic life support, which means basically we assist the ambulance and give basic life support care. There's only a couple of stations in Hunt County that do ALS, which is advanced life support. Yes, we are contracted with the hospital, contracted with the county, and the state has renewed our license for another 2 years.
I'm sorry, Dwayne.
No, that's great. Thank you for bringing that up. Just a little background on the first quarter of this year, just to give y'all an idea of what we do. EMS calls, emergency medical service calls. In the first 3 months, we had 199. Motor vehicle accidents, 10. Structure fires, 23. Grass fires, 27. Smoke investigation or controlled burns, 18. Fire alarms, 1. Vehicle fires, 2. Technical rescues, that's swift water or boat rescues, 2. Public assist on lockouts, lines down, trees down, animal calls, 12. And out of all of that now, we missed 10.
You what?
We missed 10 calls.
We're at a 304, we missed 10 calls
304
due
missed.
to
Yes.
various reasons, whether we didn't have anybody to man the station at one point or another, or we could have been out on another call and couldn't break loose.
These numbers that he's reading off, are any of them, I don't know, I can give a good example, is any of them like a MVA and structure fire? I mean, to where there's, to where there's 2,
Two things at once.
I mean, to where you're going to a scene and you got, I don't know what all the subjects were, whatever the subject was,
So
house fire and.
it would have been how it was called out to us. We had 10 calls that were called out to a structure fire. At that structure fire, there could have been a medical call that
Okay.
were needed at the same
Yeah,
time.
and that's reflected in these numbers.
Yes.
Okay.
So-
Okay, that makes sense.
It would have just been the structure fire that was called out.
Right,
If there was a medical call in that same, it's just part of that call.
okay.
So that's sort of where we are moving forward to protect our citizens, and we're looking forward to a bright future down the street.
Very good,
Thank you.
very good.
Thank you.
We need
Very good job.
to- Okay, 7B, presentation by Young Marines, Kaufman County, Jacqueline, is it Bracy?
Bracy, yes.
Bracy, okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mayor, Council, for having me again. I just want to tell you how honored and pleased I am with the results of our relationship, of us coming to help with Market on the Lake. My presentation last time, since I met with you last time, our unit has grown to 14. We have new color guards. 2 of those color guards have promoted in rank to corporal. We have recruited 4 more. So some of the ones that you saw yesterday, that was their very first color guard presentation, but they have worked diligently for 3 months. So we thank you for that. I want to spend time today just answering some specific questions, and I've left literature for you. What is a Young Marines? It is a nonprofit program and is geared to children ages 8 to 18 or the completion of high school. And the Young Marine program, is it similar to other community-based programs? Yes and no. It is not like the ROTC or the Boy Scouts in that we have different criteria from them, but we have similar and like-minded opportunities. For instance, we have completed 12 of our Young Marines since I saw you last have their basic CPR training. 2 that were on our color guard this weekend had the advanced basic life support trainings, which means they could go on their encampment, which was why it worked out so well to volunteer by day and do the encampment by night. There are over 250 Young Marine units, including one in Okinawa, Japan. Who runs these units? So I am not a veteran. I was offered the position as a unit commander by a waiver offered to me by the deputy chief, Mr. Lee, at the nation at headquarters. We have volunteers who don't have to be a veteran, to be community citizens. We do like the enhancement of having veterans to make sure that we're doing our drill and ceremonies correctly, but I do have all the manuals I need to teach from that. I cannot do this without the volunteers that I have right now. From my start in 2020, all of the volunteers who came on board are presently with me. I have had 2 to leave my unit because one family moved away and another family had to move because of work-life balance. But no one has left because they weren't pleased with what we have done. So our retention rate, our attendance rate is extremely well. And I would like to say that headquarters is pleased with our work. I have a Young Marine of the Year in our unit. And since I came into doing this, I had one Young Marine in particular who was very reserved. He is now an entrepreneur and has started his own lawnmower business and has maintained that for a year. So I'm confident to speak to that. If you follow us on Facebook, he was also spotlighted there. If you're interested in forming a unit, you don't have to come to me. You can go to the website and you can just click a button and you can get started. But because of the relationship that we've grown to have, I'm offering my assistance to help you, but I am not the beginning or the end. You can make a direct call to the website or headquarters. Since we met last time, we have children who are at the age of 14. They go into something called Project Alert. Project Alert helps us with our drug demand reduction program. And at the age of 14, you go in and get a certificate. That certificate is 11 lessons where they learn about drug demand reduction, how to be the presenter, how to help with the bullying, how to talk about drug abuse, and how to share and help with a friend who might be in that position, how to say no respectfully without needing the bully. Okay, we just had a 14-year-old who was in the color guard who was so excited that he had 1 lesson left. After leaving you Sunday, he completed that lesson by 7 p.m. before sleep. So their own dedication speaks volumes. As far as the unit itself, I've given you some statistics. It's important to talk about my compassion and what we do, but the statistics that I've handed out to you, in 2020, there were 600 respondents who were in the program between 1960 and 2020. You can read and see that the numbers are great. Our enrollment, our alumni, they either are doing extremely well or they're coming back to support the unit. Personally, I have a mom who's an alumni and a volunteer who's an alumni. They're either enrolling their children in, or those that don't have children are coming back to the program to support it. I would like to pose to you, how does West Tawakoni Young Marines sound? I think it's time. There was an interest list that I started of people, parents, young, there was no median age, that came to me to ask me to thank us and say, where was this 10 years ago for my kid? I have the names. There is an interest in your community. And I would like to plan an open house so that you can start your own unit and get those people that I have the contact for up and running and ready to support you.
That's it. Do they know military time yet?
Some do, some don't.
Because I can't get anybody here.
Oh, yes, some do, some don't, yes, and the jargon, yes. And we do cover that. We have the test on that as well.
Good. Well, we're sure glad you came out.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Well, you should. I know, right? Okay, moving on to 7B, which is a discussion and or take action on adding section 16 seatbelt policy and section 17 distracted driving policy to the city of West Washington personnel. Anybody want to That one.
What this is part of the American Rescue Fund. This is one of their requirements. We already have, the drug-free workplace in our policy manual. But we needed to be sure and add the distracted driving and the seatbelt policy to be, so we would be in compliance with what they require. So that's why we had that.
That's a good idea.
So it's not that
Yes.
they're abusing it.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
we just had to put it
I
back.
was gonna say it is a state law.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can drive a ticket.
yeah. Well, this is the meet that the American Rescue.
I got it.
Minimal. We just had to update it. Any other discussion?
Fast food, actually, I'll make a motion to add that.
I'm
Leon
second.
first, Dan second. All in favor?
Kevin Featherston.
Leon, I.
Pam Reed.
Chris Burkett.
It is unanimous. Moving on to D, discuss and or take action on the American Rescue Fund's budget. Annette, are you gonna take that? Or,
Well, I'm gonna let me say it first. Okay, our funding is going to be $497,000, which we have only received half of that at this point. We're expecting the other, but we have 2 to 5 years to spend this money, but it's the budget that has to be turned into the IRS by April 30th. And that's what this is for, is to go ahead and get a plan going. This can be changed, but we have to have something to send to them to let them know what our intention is of how we're going to be spending the money. And our main goal is to, spend it where it's, we're not going to have any issues. And it's the health and especially for the health of our citizens. And that's what, and the safety as well. And most of it is going to our water plant. And that is a necessity that we have to have. So we don't have to reach out and go for, so many grants and raise our water rates in the future to cover some of the costs that we have for repair. So Mike, you want to explain?
I'm up first, I guess.
Did everybody understand what this fund is?
it's limited what we can spend the money on.
Yes.
And which is very important. This is not just money the government is dumping in our lap to do whatever we want.
Is there a list somewhere that tells you what you spend it on, or?
I don't know if there's a, is there a list?
Yes,
Yeah, there is a
and
list.
And that's why I asked. So yes, there is, like, we couldn't build a city hall. Right. We honestly, we couldn't remodel our city hall. Because that doesn't fall into health and safety, right? So,
Can we use some of this money to put with a grant, to match a grant to do some things like?
No.
That's not has to be-
It's very
that-
strict.
You can get that online.
Right.
Look at that.
it's tight, but not tight. I guess it's hard to say.
I got it.
I mean, there's a lot, you gotta think about all the facets of things in our city. So that to me says it's not tight because there are so many things that, if you look at the list, that's a pretty broad list,
Right.
but yet it's like we couldn't go build a new playground. We would all love it, right? We'd all love to build whatever, but we couldn't do that. And would the city benefit from it? Absolutely. We would benefit from anything we spent this money on. If it was build a movie theater, we benefit from it,
Yeah.
but we can't do that. So that's why I asked that. So it looks like you two ladies have maybe looked this up already.
But spending it on these types of things here keeps us from having to go borrow money in the future.
It keeps us
Yes.
from borrowing money in the future. Right.
And the stuff that I'm
And
gonna
the
talk
biggest-
about is that,
Yeah.
doing it this way, we won't have to raise the cost to the consumer and them carry the weight of this burden. It's gonna be taken care of by the TDM money.
My very first meeting on the council sitting in that chair. The very first thing we voted on was a meeting too long to build a water tank out here or something. I'm sure we're still paying on it.
Mhm.
30
40 years.
40, yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
it's,
already been paid for before I'm gone.
I think it was outdated the day they finished. I mean, it needed so many upgrades. It's a manual plant. Would you call it a manual?
I
plant?
would say, yeah, I mean, right now, we're 95% running the plant manually. So, I mean, it's.
Part of the
it-
way.
This will get us a whole lot.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not gonna get us where. we
So
want-
let's let Michael.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make it quick because I know the storms and all that. So I do have a list of everything that needs to be done in public works, but I'm really focused on the main three, because they're health and safety. One of which is a violation through the state that needs to be taken care of as well. So the first one is the filter media and the SCADA, or excuse me, the actuators for the valves in the plant and the SCADA. The SCADA is no longer talking to the plant anymore. It's not communicating with any valves. And the valves themselves need, I'm sorry, go ahead, Pam.
Explain a little bit about the SCADA.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
The SCADA is it's basically a program that tells each step of the process what to do. So water comes in from the clarifier, it says, okay, open this valve 40%. Open this valve 60%. None of that works.
Can I explain it in layman's terms for you?
Sure.
So what SCADA does, is SCADA removes the reason for us to have somebody at the plant 24 hours a day. Right now, we're skating by, they're making some very, very educated, calculated adjustments before we leave at the end of the day. And the 5% that he said that is not manual will call us when our adjustments don't work.
Right.
Hopefully, right? Hopefully. Right now, we're still getting calls, but so what the SCADA will do is it will take all that stuff, and if something starts changing, like, let's just put it in a layman's term again, if our water starts coming in from the lake, dirtier than what it was whenever we first looked at everything and ran labs when we left, and the water starts coming in from the lake dirtier, then this SCADA system will see that dirty water and go,
It'll slow everything down.
and it'll change everything, so the water still keeps making the same. And when we get here in the morning, we don't go, oh my gosh, my filters are trashed.
Right, I'm not coming into total plant shutdown.
Did I explain that?
You did,
Yeah.
and that's happening more and more and more. Where we're
And one
coming
word
in.
that jumps out at me here though is rehab. Are we gonna
It's-
have what we have? Or are we gonna go
Yes.
brand new?
No, we're gonna rehab what we
can't-
have.
We can't do that.
How,
Where there will be some parts that will be changed, but not all. That's
Okay.
right. So there's gonna be some stuff that's changed, but we're having to use as much of what is still good there,
Okay.
right? I mean, ideally, yeah, we'd love.
The
to-
goal is to save what we
Right.
have, and
Okay.
if we can make it work, make it work.
Okay.
So
the
that's
SCADA
essentially
sounds
the,
like it's something that we need to totally replace.
well,
Or is it-
basically, there's program software writers out there that are brilliant. They can write a brand new language that can translate what the old system was saying, and now tell the system what to do.
Okay.
And we've talked to them too.
Yes.
They're all on board. We got a lot of meetings with subcontractor engineers and things like that. So,
Well, so first and foremost, the water plant, that is top priority. That is, it's gotta be done. The next part of that, which I've kind of rearranged these, so the state says that I need to upgrade one of my raw water pumps that's down at the lake. They're saying we need two 1,000 GPM pumps. Right now, we have one 1,000 GPM pump in the 750. And we went to replace the 750 a few years ago, and our 1,000 GPM pump went down. So we just swapped them out. So here we are again. I've got to change that pump out. The state's telling me to do it now.
and we went with a 750 for quite a while.
We have.
Kept up.
It's been Old Faithful. That's what we
Yeah,
call it.
yeah.
Until we rerun that motor, I guess, a year.
Is all of this that
Yeah.
you're asking us to do, that you're wanting this funding for, is it things that y'all can do, or are we gonna have to call people in here to do it?
We have to
You'll be
call
able
people
To do it yourself?
Yeah. If we can do it ourselves, it'd be done already.
And we're having to go through, I'm gonna call her a grant, right? I know that this is not anything to do with grants.
She's an administrator.
Yes, yeah, the administrator of it. We have to have an administrator, and that's what you see when you see that 17,000. That's what they charge, that's what they're gonna charge us to administrate this, but I think aren't they gonna charge us by how much money we spent, so that
They charge us based on the total dollar.
that's what I mean, it's all, yeah, so that number is not exactly 17,000, maybe less.
If we did our math right, it is.
Yeah, according to the funds that we're gonna get.
Yeah,
That should be 17,000.
okay.
What most people don't think about though is the cost of the engineer. The engineer is where.
Yeah, that's where the fees really get high. That's why it's at $60,000.
So I talked about the water plant first, which is super critical. Talked about the pump at the raw water intake. So now the last one, and this one has just recently became an emergency situation. And that is the dewatering dumpster. And essentially what it does, if you've ever been out to the wastewater plant, you know I have a set of 4 drying beds. Well, they are deteriorated to the point to where I have to make a decision. Do I go with a dewatering dumpster that is very compact and small and will last us the next 20 years? Or do I continue to rehab the drying beds year after year after year? So what I've decided would be best for the plant is to go with a dewatering dumpster. Gets rid of the drying beds. It's one cost up front. We have to haul away sludge at least once a year. There's our sludge dumpster right there. So, but this is at a critical point as well. As a matter of fact, it'll probably be the first thing that I need to go purchase is the dumpster. Any questions I can answer about that?
Yeah, is it mechanical? Is that motor?
No, sir. Basically, I waste from the plant and it'll feed through a pipe into the dumpster. It'll fill up with sludge and water. Then it gets all the water off of it, puts it back in the plant, which is healthy for the plant. And then just keeps the sludge.
But how many gallons does that thing hold?
I don't have that number for you.
How often you gotta empty?
At least once a year.
I think it's a 40 yard.
It is a 20 yard.
20?
And if I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to hold like 15 to 18,000 gallons, which, you know, it sheds all that water off. It just keeps the sludge. So you just keep filling it until the sludge gets to a certain level.
So it's not built like a dumpster where you can pick it up and go dump it and bring it back.
Yes,
Yes.
It is. So
it is, but it's got a very special design on the inside.
they don't have to
Wafer
go
boards.
sucking it. I
It's
think
got
they make the whole
baffles, it's got
thing.
baffles on the inside that when stuff comes through and it pushes it out through the back.
And I will add too, that it's actually something cities have been doing now for 15, 20 years. We're kind of behind the ball there, so.
It actually pushes it out. We can see it drying and hardening in there.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly, it takes all the water off.
Yeah, the baffles are for hauling it, really.
Well,
that
the
stuff
baffles
it
is what
does-
allows the water to escape.
Right,
Well,
that's-
yeah.
that stuff is dry. once it's-
Oh, when it's hauled up.
Yeah, and I'm guessing when they take it, they introduce liquid back to it to get it out.
Actually, they don't, they turn it into fertilizer, but it's a whole other situation.
Maybe they take it apart, I don't know. No, it don't matter.
And that's something 5, 10 years from now, I'd like to see us do is be able to actually take the sludge and sell it.
I was gonna say, it's sellable.
Yeah, once you treat it,
That's
once
what
you
I'm
dry it out and do certain things.
Yeah, you have to go through a process, it's gonna have to go through a, I forget what they call it. It's a
Yeah.
heater.
Well, you gotta run through a belt press.
Well,
and
it goes through one of those those tumblers that heats it, because it has to burn off any of the contaminants.
Methane,
Will this
nitrogen.
accommodate, I'm sorry, will this accommodate the growth that's coming here? Is it
Absolutely.
big enough?
Actually, and that's another one of the concerns is the dry beds just can't, they can't handle it anymore.
Okay.
And I would really need to dig it all up and rebuild it. And that costs even more money than just buying a dumpster we'll have for the next 20 years. We're trying to be real smart at how we spend money.
Can we flip from one to the other in the event there's any kind of problem?
You wouldn't want to do that.
Well, no, I wouldn't want to, but I don't know.
I mean,
of
if
a
I
situation
needed to,
Yeah.
the bed number 4 is concrete. The other 3 are down to the clay. So I could essentially wipe out 3 and keep the concrete bed as a backup.
And I'm thinking long-term to where we get to the point to where, you know, we're really not utilizing, the plant can handle a lot more than what it's being utilized for right now, which we hope will handle the growth that's coming, but what happens if the growth doubles or triples?
Well, then we have to add a secondary clarifier. to handle it.
We just get two of these.
You would add a dumpster and also, I mean, right now, you know, we're permitted for 300,000 gallons a day. We do about, on a bad day, 140, 160,000. So we're about half our permit. But yeah, with growth eventually, 5, 10 years, we need a secondary clarifier. Takes more to load. Yeah, and that's coming, it's coming. And the state says that you should be thinking about that years before your growth hits you.
And now
Because by the
that,
time the growth hits you, it's too late.
that's granted the location that plan is at, and the property we have, once the engineering study is done, that we could actually house an expansion there.
Right.
It
Well, that's what Brian did. Yeah.
Well, they would basically get rid of our lagoon system and build.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Right, and that's what, yeah, I mean, we may have to have a plant number 2, depending on the growth that comes in the city.
Right.
There-
Hopefully it's not another racetrack like that.
Right,
There's only 3 in the state of Texas and they were obsolete when ours got built. So.
so anyway,
Okay. All right, I appreciate it.
Sure. You're up, chief.
Moving on to police department, John, you got anything?
I've got several quotes that ain't came in yet on some, so some of the figures on them ain't all the way right. But, on my patrol cars, the camera system, the ones that are in them now are outdated, that the company can't even repair them. And one of the cars, it don't even work at the time. So, the camera systems and the body camera that we have, body cameras are the first generation, and we're just saving them to an external drive. They don't actually have, because the videos should be secure. That way nobody can go in there and delete, edit, or do anything to them. It should be only an admin be able to do it. The way they're set up now, anybody can go. So that's why I keep them locked in my office, all the videos to keep from anybody deleting or anything.
And this upgrade and improvement will allow our body cam, dash cams, radar, or whatever will be synced together, which we've never, the city's never had anything like that. We're just trying to catch up with technology. And that's important when you talk about accidents or something.
Now, for any case that goes to the VA county attorney's office, they require a video. You have to have a body cam or a in-car camera video before they take the case. So I bought some cheaper body cams. Bought 3 just for emergency until I was able to fix the regular police ones, because these are bought off of Amazon. Ain't real secure or nothing, these kind of video. And computers in the cars. When I came here, there was only one work. The rest of them I found back there and I rebooted them and fixed them up, patched them up enough that they would work. And so now one of the cars, the computer's freezing up. Sometimes it takes them 30, 40 minutes to unfreeze it before he can use his computer. We use computers for cops in communication with other officers. The ADL tracking the cars at all times, everybody knows where the car is at, where the officers at.
What about the vehicles? How old are our Chargers now? I was 3 or 4 years old.
Yes, one of them got 60-something thousand miles and the other one got almost 50,000 miles. And we're put on some reserves, putting on reserves, and to keep the mileage down on the cars, to purchase another vehicle, and that way it would keep the mileage down, with switch around cars that way. And they officers all driving one car, and stacking the miles on.
I have a question on that, but I see the dollar amount here. Are there any restrictions that says instead of paying for that vehicle outright, that full amount, can we lease the vehicle? Would that be more cost effective?
We went through that last year, and actually, the cost was gonna be greater than what we could have done on our own, if I recall.
yeah,
I mean, it's a great concept, but it was gonna cost us a lot more.
there's some very little, some to no benefits to leasing. The leasing, if you're only gonna put 20,000 miles or 30,000 miles in the car and turn it back to the bank, and that's why you'll see sometimes when somebody says this was a lease vehicle. And usually that's a upper echelon of a company that people get a new car every 6 months. And, or they don't drive and they get a new car every 2 years, and all they do is drive to an airport once a week and fly out and fly around the world and do their business and come back and get the car going. So there's some benefits, but what the fear was a few things whenever we started looking deeper into it. was any kind of damage, right? With the police cars, you're not gonna probably run into this as much, but work trucks, things sometimes happen. More especially with these guys having to get holes. I mean, there's no on the side of the road shower. So they get in a truck dirt, it's unavoidable. So the interior of these trucks are gonna get trashed. Well, there is a possibility with the police vehicles, something could happen. Whether it be people getting in there, if you got, somebody gets in there and tears it up that you put in the back, whatever. And then the mileage was the biggest thing. And I think we're only allowed like 12,000, I think it was like 12,000.
Yeah, it's
12,000 miles a year.
And then they'll turn it into like 60,000 miles. Like,
Well, it was 12,000, it was a 3-year lease with 12,000 miles a year. So that scared us because those Chargers at that time, what are they now, 3 years old? So they're 3 years old, you said 60 and 50, so we're over. That's what we were looking for, like, oh, wait a
And
minute.
we believe those still have some good life.
Yeah, they do,
I
they
mean,
do.
we're not, we really haven't.
But to the point, if we have an officer here and you're gonna have a reserve, so the way that, I'm guessing that will work is at some point, there's gonna be 2 to 3 officers, including yourself, in the city at any one given time. Well, we're gonna run out of cars at some point. Right?
What type of vehicle would we get that for that amount? Would it be like a more durable vehicle, like a truck or a Tahoe or something, or would it be a car? Or which
Gonna
would
be
you
an
prefer?
It's gonna be an SUV.
It would be an SUV.
This price on this one is for a 2022 Ford Explorer.
Okay.
This is kind of like what you see DPS is running, and I think
Right.
Quinlan has I think they have 1 or 2 of them.
Now, I haven't got quotes from others. This was, the only one was from Fleet Safety, and it's a fully equipped Explorer. And the other ones haven't reached out to me yet.
Have you reached out to I mean, every dealership has fleet sales.
Most of the dealership, like Defender, Fleet Safety, and there's one other one. They're buying up all because I guess the problem is having getting the chips for the cars and stuff. So all of these police equipment places are buying up all the police vehicles so they can equip them and sell fully equipped before the dealers are getting them. So that's what they're doing. So right now, we're having to go through a lot of those places. And the dealer sells them. I mean, if you go buy like Reliable Chevrolet, they sell police vehicles, but they're like 60,000, and then it's another 14, 15,000 to fully deck them out. Take them to the place and deck up. Or you can buy them from these places that do that, already all equipped.
So you're saying this one is at this price is fully equipped? We're not doing anything to put decals on it?
I mean, all you have to do is put a radar in it, or no, computers.
Well, the radio and DVR.
Oh, radio, that's what it
Yeah,
was,
radio.
our radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, this one has a computer, has the radar, the camera system, all that.
And county's going to all digital radios. And, you know,
Approved it this morning. $5 million. We approved it this morning.
Wow.
Commission court.
and we're on the list to receive these, I think they said 5 of the digital handhelds. So we're gonna have to buy the handheld.
The big expense.
Yeah,
And which
those
our
are like-
Our radios in our cars are already digital
Yeah.
compatible.
And they're still in the warranty, so we got these taken to Erie County and Sulphur Springs and program it and the radios, we'll use the same radios that we did.
Our existing vehicles have a lot of mileage on them.
15, 16.
50 and 60 on the Chargers, and then yours, the Tahoe has
77. Also,
We've seen you at there.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
You got a picture of this copy machine?
Well, actually, but,
Yes, we've got a lot of different quotes, new, used, refurbished.
yeah, and it's kind of funny, because when I was reaching out, she told me, she said, contact 3 different places. Well, I did. And it was Datamax and Datamax and Datamax. You know, I said, are you kidding? Then there were some other companies, but the main company that we use, that we have our copier with right now is out of Sulphur Springs. And they have always been very reliable. But the copier we have, we can't get parts for it anymore. The feeder is worn out. We have lots of issues, and they told us, you know, as of May, no longer will the contract be any good. So
How long we had that?
that one was, I think we've had it about 5 years. I think we've had this one. So, you know, usually what we traded it in, I asked them, I said, is there any trade-in value for this? And they said, no, there's no parts out there. So, you know, it's not a good trade.
How many copies or sheets is it gonna give a count of how many we've done? I know since we've had it.
We can look on our bills. We have, well, you know, just council meetings alone
Yeah.
and our packets and, you know, some of these presentations. We'd be surprised how many copies we have. And, you know, some of these copiers do have other options to do booklets, leaflets and things like this. So it's really, you know, what our need is. But we do need the color ones, especially for the police department, you know, with code and stuff. Shannon's been using a lot of it.
Yeah, we're gonna have.
You know, the pictures
color
of
sticker.
the violations. But then the other item here is the government software, and this is, our auditor has mentioned, we have 19 checking accounts. I mean, and when you put all that together, auditors, no wonder they charge what they charge. But they say, y'all need to be in an accounting system, not QuickBooks. And they've been telling us that for years. We do not need to be in that. So this is a possibility, but now if the price range is out of, you know, this was just an estimate of what they give me, but they need some more information. So this may be something that we can't afford, but then we would use the money, of course, for the water or the police, wherever we can. But there's not a lot that we could use here in City Hall.
Would that software combine all the checking accounts, or you just have one?
It will still be water sewer, and then the rest of it would be our general fund.
But I mean, would you just have one checking account with one account
That-
number? and-
I don't really know how they integrate that. They integrate everything, and so that's interesting to know. I
It
don't know.
still keep track of all 19 of them, but.
I
but
think
you're only
I
using
think what
one
it'll
check.
be is it'll be sub-accounts,
Yeah,
kind of like the way we do our budget. So that'll be so much easier than getting out of this and going into this one. And, you know, it just takes time because you close it and
do you
You gotta
print
wait
checks on
for
the
it.
computer?
Yeah.
Or you print all your checks on the computer?
so this is all we have on this, and
And
this,
it's really not that much money if you think about it. We're gonna have it for at least 10 years and then they upgrade or whatever, but if you annualize it, it's, you know, it's really not that big of a expense. Front, yeah.
So, but that's all we had on this, and so we'll be turning this into Wanda, and we'll be getting together and get our report ready to turn into the IRS.
Was their actual fee, we're taking like 30%. That's kind of high on a grant for an administrator.
It's not 30%.
No, it's not 30%.
No.
That 497,000 is our funds.
They're limited by law.
Yeah,
of
they
what
keep
they
going.
can,
thought so,
what they
yeah.
can do.
Yeah.
It's not 30,000. But we reached out to more than this company.
Right.
And one of the companies was a little over double the amount. And this is just for administration, because everything has to go through the administrator. This works much differently than a grant does. But it seems to me like one of them was like $40,000.
Yeah, that was pretty high.
Yeah.
So can that administrator kick any of this back, say, no, you can't do this, or they've already given approval on it?
Well, they're guiding us along the
We
way.
pretty much have got approval on this, but now then the engineer costs, that is so that, you know, they write the specs on this, or is the rehab and the SCADA and stuff like that, so that's, their fee may be much lower, we don't know. That's the one we're hoping is really gonna be lower. Okay.
Anything else on the website? No, this is the website, isn't it?
Not yet, we're not here
What?
So we don't have to take any action on this.
It's closer to 5%.
Well, it is a discussion or take action. And like I said, the administrator, they're helping us go through, we're identifying areas that we feel are critical to this city. The water being number one. And so we're going through, and they're telling us whether we can or can't and all that. So it's not us, you know, making a final decision, and us gonna spend money.
Okay,
And these people are certified to do this.
right.
And they know the whole program front and back, and they know everything about it.
So we need a motion to turn this in. That's what we're,
Well, to accept, yeah, a motion to accept, and move forward.
okay, so I make a motion to accept the American Rescue Fund budget as printed here.
Second.
There's a second,
I second it.
David second, all in favor,
Kevin Featherston.
Leon, Meyer.
Pam Reed.
Robin Myers.
Chris Burkett.
it is unanimous. Moving on to E, discussion and or take action on West Walking website. This is something, we're at a point where we've been here before, and, I don't know how we ended up. Oh, yeah, that's right. We've got out from other cities, what they were doing. There's a lot of talk about people wanting, Facebook and a better website. Our city website is the most difficult software I've ever seen in my life. Hardly anybody can get through it. And there's still things in there. If you do searches in the search bar, like city council, it'll come up with 2 city council, the pictures and bios and all that. Anyway, it's very difficult. We have no way to put stuff on the website ourselves. What we're looking at is a company that will, 3,500, is that what that is? Annette?
A year.
Yeah, $3,700.
$300 a month.
And then that is to write the software, go to Quinlan's, we'll go to Quinlan's, city website. Quinlan, Dripping Springs. I don't know, they're a big company. They do a lot, all over the United States.
There's a whole list on here.
Okay, good.
Midlothian, Greenville,
Yeah.
Greenville.
Yes, so,
That's a partial list.
yeah. So anyway, it would be $3,500
No,
up from
36.
36.
36.
So it would be, they would build and create the software unique to this city. And we can tweak it how we want to or whatever. And then every year thereafter, we pay them another $3,600. And we have control of it. We enter the agendas, and it's posted out on our website. So the website that we all love, not love, but we all know, will go away. And something similar to this will replace it. And we can do whatever we want to. We can do all the hosting. We can put a water outage, a broken pipe, or whatever we want to do.
Public Works tab.
Yeah, Public Works tab.
City administrative
So there's a
tab.
lot we could do with it. And I think the other bid was, how much was it? I don't have that number.
Okay.
It was 7 twice.
Uh-huh. But
Twice as much.
what was nice about this, watching their presentation, you just go to that item, drag it and drop it, and it's posted.
So there's no
And-
monthly rate, right?
No.
No.
It's-
So on this one, it was very user friendly is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
We don't
and
have-
is this one, and this is the one that Quinlan uses, correct?
Right.
Has anyone talked to anybody over in Quinlan?
Yes, I
about-
do.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay, good.
this is my fault that we've already been here, so we're kind of redoing something we already did. After we had our meeting, it was just bugging me that we couldn't do anything to our own website. Right, like if there was a whatever in something in the park, or if there was a fish fry at the fire station, or if there was a water break, or if the police department had something that they were wanting to say or do or code or any, no matter what it was, right? They would have to get that information to someone and then depend on someone to get that information onto the website.
Isn't that what we're dealing with right now?
Right, and it's, but anyway, so it's,
It's a different person, but I mean,
Right.
that's what we've been dealing with the
And so-
website we have.
that was an issue, but then two, in looking at their website, we're looking at things like their code and their ordinances and all this stuff, and it was like, holy cow, which that's a whole nother horse of another color at some point for us to mess with that, but that can happen. And then anytime they have something that changes, like if we have an ordinance change or if we pass a different ordinance or do whatever, they can go on there and load that on, just like that. And just as simple as she was saying, the file is gonna be on your computer, you can just grab it and go.
And, like on a like this Friday, okay, I left here. And got home, and I thought, okay, let me check and make sure that it's posted. Make sure by Saturday it's posted, so we can have this meeting, if we gotta have it out there 72 hours. We won't have that, fear that, hey, we're not gonna get it posted in time for a meeting. That's one of the things that's been a problem.
Yeah, and another benefit is permits. Right now, well, we could have all the permit fees and everything on there and probably be able to do the permit application process and everything else, but not just that, but ordinances. The city ordinances about pets or loud music or whatever, all this building permits, it'll all be in there.
And I think, didn't I ask a question, maybe I dreamed this, so somebody can slap me if I'm wrong. But I thought I asked a question when we were talking to them about this website, that if we could put links, like for instance, our park, for people to pay for campsites, we should. I think they said, yes, that's easy enough, that all we would have to do is there would be a reservation thing for the park. And you've seen it before, like if you go to Galveston or anywhere and you go somewhere, you can register for this stuff online and reserve everything, pay for everything right here online.
Yeah, it says right here.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was
Bill paid for it on there.
Right, so it's through that pay star.
Is this the
Pay
same,
star,
is
yeah.
this?
He just threw
Yeah.
this
Yes.
together.
So-
He just threw this
Yeah,
together
this is like a,
to
this
say,
is
hey,
like a
you can.
mock, this is like a mock up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so that would be awesome, because then like for people camping at the park, we could take care of that, which we're able to have somebody there now.
See how you do.
Take payments too. And so anyway,
I went to Midlothian,
See how you do it.
which they do there,
yeah,
and there's a search up there. No, okay. Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday,
we're going
it's
to
department.
the-
But I just typed in agendas, and here it brought up all these agendas, brought up the minutes, the meetings, the planning, zoning, everything.
yeah, the search engine is a true working search engine at the top.
Right.
You can pretty much
That's
type
nice.
in something, a keyword, and it'll take you to whatever that might be, whether it's a code or an ordinance or whatever.
So my only concern is the same concern we've had for years. You take let's just take EDC, getting their minutes up on there. Are we now putting this on our office personnel that's gonna have to go in there and do that? Or can we not put some kind of procedure in place with our EDC director that they're responsible for getting those updated?
And you've got a good point, Chris, because I think you're onto something there. I think every single one of our committees should have their own responsibility for loading their minutes and their agendas and their this, right?
Not just the ability, but the process in place that they are to be
Yeah.
done by this
They should
time
be
every
expected,
week.
they should be expected to. I should rephrase that.
When we
In a
were
timely
reading,
manner.
through this, we found things about you can have as many administrators as you wish.
Yes.
Is that what that would be?
Yes.
If each committee
That's
would
right.
have their own administrator
Yeah.
to be able to have access to it? Okay.
They would have their
What it
own
would
login,
be.
whether it be the market on the lake, whether it be whatever, all the things that happen within our city that we want our public to know about, those committees would load their own stuff.
And basically, if they were.
And, you know,
good at
it would be
it,
easy, they could come in and we could show them, this is how you do it. And
Yes.
I guess.
Who would be over it to take them off though? Well, like say they, we're no longer on that committee.
It
we
would
wanna
have
do
to
the
be a main
administrator.
administrator.
Yeah, it would be in this office.
It would be in that, okay.
Yeah, it would be, it would either be in this office or the person, because now we do still have support, right? They don't just give this to us and say, okay, it's your ball, see you later, bye, run.
Right.
We still have the ability that they will even load stuff if we shall chose to say, hey, I just sent you 40 files. I need you to put it on our website. They still work for us. It's not like they're making a website. and
Yeah, I'm leaving, yeah.
That's still. They're still the host.
But we're just not gonna exercise that all the time for all of our stuff.
Right.
Now, if we were to have 40 whatevers, then you may say, yeah, I'm not doing this. Let me send this over to Kevin and say, hey, Kevin, I need you to load this in our website and our ordinances section. Thank you. See you later, bye.
Right.
They said that they're there to help.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna leave us. And that's, what we want.
And they're out of
And
power.
it looks like that 3,600 is good for 3 years, each year.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
They came very highly recommended, from our neighboring city, Quinlan. I mean, they had nothing but good to say. So,
Well, I think with going this route, we've got to make sure that we put something in place that these things have to be done in a timely manner. So if it, like I said, if it's your EDC, they've got to have something put in place where it has to be done by a certain amount of time. First, not doing us any good, go get another website if we're not getting that stuff put on there.
The agenda is the only thing that's, pressing, because you got an agenda out 72 hours before the meeting. The minutes are dependent on the committee. I mean,
Yeah,
like
and after
EDC,
they're
for
put-
instance, if EDC has a meeting in March, but they don't have one in April to approve the March minutes, then it's gonna, so I hear what you're saying, but
there will be circumstances.
yeah.
There's always gonna be circumstances,
Yeah.
but our problem now is, for whatever reason, it just doesn't get there. Now, I know we've heard situations where it's the company that we've been using, or we gotta figure out how to get something in place that it has to get put up there, where it's not doing us any good to go out and spend the money and get another website. We're not making sure the procedures are put in place to get the stuff put on there.
I agree with that, but we already have that we have to post it, so almost every meeting is 72 hours before it, correct?
Yes.
So we could say that it has to be on the website within that time. And then as far as the minutes, we could say 72 hours after the minutes are approved. And that would,
Can you post unapproved minutes?
no, have to be approved.
They actually have to be approved by the committee. They actually have to be approved by the committee and then by the council before you.
And it's, but that part might fall back to us after we approve it, that we make sure it gets put up. I don't know. I just want to make sure that something's getting put in place, because it seems to be the same cycle we've been
Well,
having.
and just so everyone knows, in some of the conversations that has happened with Annette, the mayor, and myself, we did say that we're not gonna just say, okay, well, this is all gonna be on it.
Exactly.
We're gonna have multiple people in this office that will be doing this. Like, we don't wanna say there's any one person gonna be responsible. It's the team is gonna be responsible. The people in this city hall is gonna be responsible for keeping this up. Because guess what? Every one of us sitting at this table's forgotten to do something.
Yep.
Right? So it's gonna be a team effort of, Annette's gonna hold Kim accountable, or Kim's gonna hold whoever accountable. It's just, it's a team effort, for all of us to say, hey, oh my gosh, did you load the minutes, or did you do this, or did you not do that?
That's where
Now-
processes and procedures come in place.
Right.
They take it off of the forgetting.
Yeah.
Becomes a process. I think it's way past due. I make a motion, we approve.
Whatever.
Kevin Featherston.
Leon, mine.
Pam Reed, Autumn Meyer.
Chris Burkett.
It is unanimous. Moving on to F, discussion or take action on park reservation in events. We've got a park host up there. And we've got different committees, different things. We have people that use RVs that want to come in. We had the young Marines come in this past weekend. We allowed them to stay over, help with the market and then camp, tent camp out there that night to get some of their badges or qualifications or whatever for that. But all the park reservations and events need to go through Cody, I think is what we talked about, wasn't it?
Yes, because they need to do it according to the calendar and because it's, you know, it's just kind of hard and I believe we've got a cell phone for the park host
Yeah.
now. And we're working on trying to get her one of those little squares to start being able to take reservations there when it's, you know, there, but she's even gonna have to communicate with us here. On the calendar. I don't know.
So that'd either be Cody or you. And
That,
a
no,
second-
Cody's been in charge of doing
Okay.
that, and she had asked Mike to be sure, you know, hey, let's communicate on the calendar. Because we've had a couple of times where there hadn't been any communication. And it makes it difficult if, you know, somebody goes down there and says, well, I think we had an issue here this past week with the ball.
Yeah, there was.
And that is always
Saturday or
been,
something, yeah.
you know, they're supposed to let us know because we've already give other people permission.
Yeah, we saw that. We wondered about that. They were calling and asking if they could use the.
Now, if they use the lights, they have to pay.
Right.
You
I
know,
was
so-
done.
That makes sense. That way, anybody that is gonna do something in the park, whether it be one of the committees or whatever. Now, we just, if they ask anybody, then everybody knows, well, you gotta go talk to Cody about it. But if I'm gonna be devil's advocate, here we got a backup system because I've missed work before.
Mhm.
So we need to know how that works. I mean, we need to make sure that whatever this calendar system is, it's a living, breathing system that any of us could almost see. Or at
Yeah.
least, you know,
We have the calendar, you know.
If Cody's on here,
Accessible.
Tammy doesn't either.
Should be on that website.
Tammy do
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Well, and that's what we planned, that's what our conversation was, is like the park would be on the website. Therefore, it would also be something cool when somebody clicks on it and you say park calendar, then you'd be able to see what events were even, it would almost be like an event. It would almost be like an event calendar on top of a reservation,
Yeah,
right?
and we could put those events on there as soon as we find out.
Yeah.
about it. We know we're
It's
gonna
just a
have,
miracle we hadn't had anything overlap.
Yeah, so.
yeah.
But this is kind of in the interim of us getting something on our website that would be useful as well.
Yeah, that's on the agenda.
I think the website thinks it's 8 weeks to be up and running.
I forget,
I believe it's 8
8
weeks.
to 10 weeks.
Yeah. I thought it was 2 to 3
And,
months or something.
When I talked to him last week, I told him, I said, we were going to present this at the council. He said, as soon as you get an answer, let me know.
Yeah, here it is, 8 to 10 weeks. Implementation.
Okay. I was thinking 2.
Well, the big thing is to get the contract signed, get started.
I'm sure they'll go, it's gonna come up.
I don't know. I don't know how
Just the
it's
tower, right? Aren't they at a tower? What am I
so.
thinking? I'm thinking of Wanda.
That's
maybe.
Wanda's in Tyler.
I forget where they're at.
Nowhere, it says Solutions of Texas. I'm not sure. No. City.
You found it, Mary? We've been working, talking to both him and the
Oh,
administration.
the people that are doing this are out of Kansas somewhere, right?
Huh?
Richard Jones is his name. Richard Jones.
Well, this is in Texas somewhere. Man,
I
that's
saw
Kansas
that.
City.
I did too.
Manhattan, Kansas is right.
That's it. Manhattan. Me and Annette go to Kansas.
There's not a lot there, I'll tell you.
Kansas City, that's what I mean. There's nothing out west. It's weird.
Nothing over here, nothing, picket fence.
Yeah.
So we're good on that?
We're still on,
We're still on the park reservation.
Yeah.
Yes. Need a motion, Pam? Rod? We still need a motion.
What, actually, what are we motion?
I'll make a motion that we move forward with having one person of contact in order to keep track of the park calendar, which is gonna be Cody Wright at the moment.
I might have missed out on something here. Park Coast has a calendar as well, which is updated by Coast.
But she has never come in here and set up
She
or
will
done
be
anything.
in here this week. She now officially has a park phone.
Yeah, but Cody's gonna keep it here at the city hall. As far as say if somebody walked in the front
The
door
calendar.
and said, I wanna use y'all's park X weekend for whatever it may be, whether it may be a jam fest, whatever we may have coming up. And so we're gonna have to have a calendar here at City Hall.
We need it both places. That's why we need it with the
Absolutely.
same thing.
Cody needs to be the over administrator of it and then filter that information to Becky. And so that the main calendar is here. And then Becky and her will talk and somebody comes in without reservations to the park or a camp, then Becky can transmit that back to her. I think it needs to stay
in
in
close
City Hall.
communication.
Right.
Which is kind of the reason for the phone. I mean, she can do that by phone. Hey, somebody's in spot B1 all weekend.
Yeah.
Done.
Which I'll, after the meeting, I can give you all her cell phone number, or cell phone.
But we should be able to do a Google, is it a Google?
Yeah, so that's.
We should be able to do a Google calendar to where
They can both see
Cody,
it.
Cody and
Yeah, that's a good idea.
where Cody and her both have it. We should be able to do a Google calendar where and they both should be able to have rights to
Yeah.
edit,
Yeah,
right?
I like it. That would be smart.
It's not only
than
gonna be,
two paper
it's
calendars.
not gonna be but
Yeah.
just them. We're gonna, I would say you need to have probably 4 people.
You do.
I
probably-
definitely need to be a part of that.
Probably, well, then
Yeah.
maybe
Does she have
maybe
a
needs to be,
computer? Becky?
I'm not
she
sure.
don't need a computer. She got a smartphone.
You do it on the phone.
Yeah, you can do it from a
Right.
smartphone.
So, so we'll need to probably have 4 people, right? Just in case, say we got 2, 3 people sick. Okay,
Gotcha.
and then you can have viewing rights of it. We won't let you add anything to
Oh, you're no fun.
it.
So your 4 could be.
I mean, I'm gonna prepare stuff, right?
Cody
But
and-
anyway, so let's look at the Google Calendar option because that should work the best. But
Yeah.
we want Cody to be the one here in the office mainly that's fielding the questions. If somebody walks in, Tam's gonna direct them to her, and she can check the calendar. We don't want to have to send them to the park and bother Becky every time. Their deal is the campsites essentially. We're not gonna ask them to answer questions about events, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, Becky will kind of be the last leg of the chain.
So it's not-
Tammy will be Cody's backup, right?
Yeah,
When Cody's not.
you know, probably, I'm sure it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna probably,
Maybe
it's
fourth person.
gonna step down somewhere. So
Right, okay.
is the motion good?
We have, who
I made the motion that we move forward with the park reservation events.
I'll take it.
Leon second, all in favor?
Kevin Featherston.
Leon, mine.
Tamara, you probably mind.
Chris Burkett.
I think we have one non-related agenda item.
Yeah, moving on to 8, citizens input on non-related agenda items. We have something on that?
Kim does.
Kim,
Kim does. Kim.
Yes, I was just gonna give y'all an update when Debbie Darter came and spoke about the Jam Fest or Calvin Travers benefit, whatever. she had mentioned that Tracy was possibly gonna rent out all the spots.
Yeah.
And I pinned her down the other day and he is not.
Oh, he's not
So,
gonna do that?
no, so the park will be open for people. to
There
July
was
2nd.
only, how many was, they were renting two?
Well, I think she's keeping two for I think the front pavilion is gonna be where the alcohol is, as long as they do the teams. And then the other one, I think, was for the band.
And they're just doing beer and wine. We
Beer and
clarified that. That's all they're doing.
That was when Tracy renting all the spots was whenever they were gonna do it, and now somehow, I guess the chamber has picked it up, and then
Yeah.
now they're working together to put it off. There's a lot of work. to do.
July 2nd.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
I make a motion we adjourn.
I think,
Good. All in favor?
Kevin Dorsey.
yeah, no,
And read.
just work it.
We are adjourned.
For the record, Jim needs to be put down as that.
Does he, I don't think he's on anymore.
No, we lost him. We lost him.
Yeah, the storm, that
Well,
was-
it's part of the storm. Maybe Rockwell's did it first.
We lost him.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did, especially now.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, 9:03.
You're not leaving there till that.
9:03.
It won't be a print sign.
1688.
Unless Becky, right?
Yes.
What's her husband's name?
Dawn.
Dawn.
Deal.